What's up, everybody? It's your boy Joshua Edwards, live from my very own bedroom. I got a special guest today. He goes by a couple names, man. Some call him Risky Stutters, some call him Too Tall, some call him whatever you want to call him. I call him Kendall Bishop. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my brother.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Kendall Bishop, like you mentioned. Go by a few names, have a couple names. Um, Founder and host of the Risky Stutters Powerhouse podcast. I want y'all to tune in to that on YouTube soon, coming soon this summer. A lot
Okay.
of hot topics and takes, you know. And basically, I'm just a kid from Norfolk, Virginia. I was in marching band, me personally. It's crazy how I got pulled to sports after my youth. Usually people get caught up in their youth and they fall in
Exactly.
love with playing and things of that nature. But me, I'm a little different. It was more of it was never a hobby for me. It was fun. You go out on the park, you chill with your boys or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
But that man right there,
The
that
goat, the goat. All right, man. So before I get in episode with anybody, I always go through a blazing five. So I didn't tell you this, but we got
right,
five quick questions. All right. So the first question: who is your favorite artist of all time?
music.
Yeah, music.
My favorite music artist of all time, all genres, is Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. Favorite sweet that you would like to eat?
My favorite sweet, like I had to go with one. Well, that's kind of tough. Because when you say it out loud, I mean, I probably go to Rice Krispie treat. I eat those
Yeah.
often.
All right. Favorite Jordan.
11s,
Okay.
Concord,
Okay. Your favorite hobby? I know you just kind of talk.
band drums. My favorite hobby, basketball, sports media. I like to give my opinion. I don't like to play.
Okay. All right. And your favorite basketball player ever?
LeBron James.
All right, cool. All right. So, this episode, we talking everything sports related. We are talking about the first round of the NBA playoffs. So, first question, what is the most intriguing series this far in the NBA playoffs, round one?
To me, you know, I wanted to go strictly basketball with this question, but it's 2021. You can't. You know what I mean? You can't go strictly basketball. You got to go with basketball, the story, the expectation. So the most intriguing series, especially since last night, have to be the Clippers and Mavericks series, just because of the build up to it. The Clippers avoiding Portland and the Lakers in the last two games of the regular season, and getting the matchup that they wanted.
Exactly.
But I don't think they was walking. I don't think they thought of it as if they was walking into a first round exit though. They probably would have been better off, just taking whatever matchup they got, fighting for the 3 seed. Because down the stretch of the last 5 games, Denver and the Clippers were separated by one game. They ended up finishing the season separated with actually the same exact record, but Denver had the tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
So the Clippers might have been better off, just playing basketball, trying to win every game, playing every star, going for continuity. And if they get the Lakers in the first round, then they get the Lakers in the first round. If they don't, they don't. But I think, and if they would have got Portland don't play defense. Everybody knows this.
Everybody
So,
knows this.
so it wasn't up to It wasn't Portland wasn't the deal breaker to tank. It was the Lakers, and it's clear, it's evident. There's no way they can hide it. And Luka punched them in the mouth at home the first 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know Luka averaging 39 points per game in this series?
Yeah, he had what, 44 last night? Yo,
44, 9, and 9.
he's going crazy. I think his last, 6 games before this, he had 39, 31, 42, 25, 24, 38, 33 points. He's averaging his last 6 games before last night was 33, 8, and 10. So, I mean, since we talking Clippers, let's just go ahead and stay on the Clippers, man. is it over for the Clippers, man? Now I know that they stepped up big last night. But when it comes to the Mavs, you can't have Porzingis, man, going 9 points, 3 rebounds, and freaking 4 assists. And then the Mavs as a whole, they are shooting horrendous from the free throw line. So is it over for the Clippers? Do they still have life after what you saw last night?
Every team that's in the playoff have life. So I'll say this much: they have a chance. Is it a slim chance? Yes. They went down 2-0 in my lifetime, 25, and with my only two eyes I have. LeBron James came back from 2-0 against the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals of 2018.
Facts.
And I don't know if you remember this series, but that same year, the year before, 2017, when D Wade went to Chicago, it was Rondo, D Wade, Butler, Tibbs. They went up 2-0 on Boston, and Rondo broke his hand, and Boston won 4 straight. I think Milwaukee went up 2-0 on Toronto.
Yeah, they did.
With Kawhi, and they lost 4 straight. It's only but so many series that I know of that it happened. You know what I mean? And what it came down to was basically everybody loved to put the stars on Front Street, blame the stars when they lose, praise the stars when they win. But it comes down to the role players. Like when you double team the star, are your role players equipped enough to make timely shots? You don't got to hit every shot. Timely shots. Yeah. When you up 8, you in the midst of a 7-0 run, and the team just cut it to 1. Can you hit that 3 when you wide open and they double team Kawhi? You know, that's what it's gonna come down to. And I think the coach actually started earning his check last game by inserting Rondo, playing Rondo big minutes. And Marcus Morris, they gave Marcus Morris 4 years, $64 million in this summertime. This summer, they gave him $64 million. He played his first minute in the series yesterday. That's ridiculous.
What's his name? Is it Luke Kennard?
Luke Kennard as well.
He hasn't even played. He's on
DNP.
DNPs, man. Oh my goodness, bro. So you think?
I'll say it's not over for him. I think, in my personal opinion, I think they're going to lose. But I think their season was lost in LA. You know what I mean? You can't lose both home games. What did you work for all season to get home court advantage? To lose it in the first 2 games? They lost 2 games at home, not 1, 2. And what it comes down to is it's not the talent on their roster. They have a deep roster, great players at every position. What it comes down to with the Clippers is expectation.
Expectations.
They are losing. They are losing to expectation more than they're losing to the team that's beating them. You know, because the team that's beating them, nobody expected a championship out of them. They lost to the Nuggets last year. Nobody expected the Nuggets winning championship. We knew they were going to be a threat. The West is always a threat. The West is always good. But it's certain teams with a certain pedigree on their roster that we expect to win chips. And no other team but the Lakers and the Clippers have that in the West right now.
Exactly.
That's about to change. It's only the Lakers. There's only 1 championship pedigree.
Okay. All right. I thought you was about to throw another team in there. I'm about to say, hold on now. Now, since we're still talking about the Mavs, if Luka wins this series, will he become a top 5 player in the National Basketball Association?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, and let me explain why. When it comes to getting in the top 5 in the league, you know, people make it a conversation of, oh, what did they do last year? What did they do in the playoff? What did they do? It's an accumulation of years, consecutive years. And what people don't realize with certain players, like, you know, Ja came out this year and said, I'm a top 5 player. I'm a top 5 point guard, excuse me. You got, Tatum. He never really says it, but he always say, I'm here. He made his comments about, you know, I'm a star. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody always make their comments about certain young players that are coming. Tatum, Zion, I put Anthony Towns in there, even though he's quite disappointing in Minnesota. He's proven that he's an elite talent individually. He's proven it. Yeah. But it's certain players that have the opportunity to reach the next echelon. And what I mean by that is their path isn't to the path of becoming an all-star, or their path isn't a path to becoming second or third option. Paul George path. Paul George came into Indiana. He was real good. We loved him when he was young. We started expecting him to do something. He go to Russ. He get a better teammate. Same result. Kawhi, new teammate, same result. And he's been climbing he's been climbing the ladder of maybe getting in the Hall of Fame. Luka's climbing the ladder to get into the top 10 of all time because
top 10 all time.
Top 10 all time. Okay. Let me say this.
Luka
Doncic last year was the first year the ball was in his hands. 28, 9, and 9.
Okay. He's 20 years old too.
His first year he was 21, 8, and 6. And in the first half of the year, the ball was in Dennis Smith's hands. They didn't give the ball to Luka Doncic and solely quit on Dennis Smith until after the new year is when they gave him the ball and he ramped it up. Luka, to me, in my opinion, he's on a LeBron trajectory right now.
That's a bold prediction, man. LeBron
not a prediction. He's on a LeBron trajectory right now. And winning this series would be just the next step to doing that, to stand on that path. Now, with losing the series, take him off that path, It's hard to get in the LeBron, Michael Jordan conversation. Magic Johnson, Michael Jabbar. You got to be great immediately. You got to impact winning immediately.
So you think if he loses this series, it's going to affect him that much?
No, I said, do you think? I said it'll slightly take him off of that trajectory just because of how perfect you got to win, dominate, impact the role players around you, be a mogul. You got to have an energy about you, and he got it. He checked every box except for and being able to stop somebody one-on-one and shoot free throws.
I don't think, even if he loses this after being 2-0, I don't think that it takes him off the trajectory because of the stuff that you stated. You feel me?
I'm not saying that it takes him. Let me say, it's not taking him. I don't think it'll take him off the trajectory, but he will have to make up next year. Okay. I think winning this, if he wins this series, it'd be his first series win out of 2. He'll be 1-2 in the playoff, just in general, playoff series. He lost last year in 6 games. We know the story with Porzingis and all of that.
Yeah.
Bottom line, you lost. You know what I mean? He come back this year. He advances to the second round. We can respect that he's building on what he did the year before. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? The level that he's at individually, leading to these wins, that team wouldn't be anywhere near contend for the Western. Because I think if they win this series, I think they can beat Utah in that series. If Luka playing like this.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You're gonna need something for Porzingis. He can't show up, be 7-2, and only give you 9 points in 36 minutes. I mean, like you said earlier, man, it's everybody else has to step up. And they gotta hit their free throws, man. You can't be 66%
as a team.
As a team, man. I mean, you're shooting 51% last night at the 3-point line, but as a team, you're struggling in whole. But man, I'm gonna just change topics a little bit. Now I'm gonna list you the series and everything. Now, give me your honest prediction before how many games you thought the teams was going to be in, and what team you think was going to win the series. So, all right. So the first series, all right. Everybody knows I had the Knicks sweeping the Hawks. Okay, Hawks versus Knicks. Before the playoffs start, how many games? Who was winning?
Terrible prediction. That's terrible prediction. Let me just start by saying that's a terrible prediction. You know, I don't know what math you used from which happened in the regular season. I don't know if you was paying attention to the Atlanta Hawks since they fired their coach and promoted Nate McMillan, but he started off 8-0 in his first 8 games with the Atlanta Hawks as the head coach and went from the 13th seed to the 7th seed in 3 weeks. So that's first of all. He proved that with the team that they had on their roster. You got to also remember, Bogdanovich hurt his knee in the first game of the year, or maybe the second game. I might be off. But it was in the very beginning of the year, Bogdanovich hurt himself. You know, he was a very key piece in what they were trying to do in terms of getting better as a team. Also, you got to remember, DeAndre Hunter repaired his meniscus in the beginning of the year, and that put him out for 3 months. Gallinari was new to the team. Rondo was new to the team. And they were just trying to figure out how to be a playoff team. Last year, they was awful. The year before that, they were awful. So trying to take that first step, going from a lottery team straight into the playoff is real tough, especially when you have a bunch of young players and John Collins, Trae Young, Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, et cetera, et cetera. And you trade for last year during the trade deadline. So it's like your whole team is trying to figure out how to win together. You know what I mean? That's first of all. Second of all, on the New York Knicks side of things, they were exactly in the same boat. Awful the year before. The only difference is the New York Knicks didn't make any big-time offseason moves in terms of player personnel. They brought in Nerlens Noel out of OKC. He was the backup for Chris Paul. He was the backup big man and played behind Steven Adams for Chris Paul and those guys last year. And he was a big help for them in the beginning of the year.
That's good.
And down the stretch, when you consider Mitchell Robinson been out for the last 2 months, Nerlens Noel kind of picked up that slot, gave Obi Toppin the opportunity to slide into the rotation when Mitchell Robinson went out. So they kind of setting a foundation for a system. You know what I mean? In terms of what position is going to do what when they get on the court, how we're going to play as a team. Initially in the series, I picked the Knicks in 7. And I picked the Knicks just because they had home court advantage, and I knew the fans was coming back. Knew that thing was gonna be rocky. You know what I mean? So I picked the Knicks in 7. Now that I see how the series is going on, I think the Hawks gonna beat them in 5. I think the series over. I think the game that the Knicks won is gonna be the only game that the Knicks win because they don't have a consistent offensive option outside of Derrick Rose. Julius Randle have reverted to the level of I'll say like a Dennis Schroeder level player, a regular starter. He's not playing like an all-star. He's playing like a good enough start. He's good to start. I'm not saying he's just playing like a rotation player, but he's definitely not playing like a focal point. And when you consider that on most people's ballots, he's probably going to be first team All-NBA this year because of the consistency of how long he played, leading the league in minutes, the level of the team the year before, what he have to do for the team to win in terms of passing, rebounding, and scoring. 40% from the field, 41% from 3. So we expected Julius to come into the series and basically dog out John Collins
and dominate.
But the element that people are not realizing is Clint Capella. Clint Capella is a big man, just like Andre Drummond a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago. He can score to a degree. He's not gonna post up and hook that or shoot 3 or nothing like that. But he offensive rebound at a high level, which create opportunities for himself, putting the ball back. He a lob threat when you got Trae Young. That makes him a weapon. Like if Frank Ntilikina was his point guard and Elfrid Payton was running the pick and roll with Clint Capella, you know what I mean? He wouldn't be elite. But since Clint Capella played with James Harden first, so he understands how to play with a nice playmaker, and then he comes and get traded to the Hawks. You got Trae Young, you got Bogdanovich, you got Kevin Huerter, you got shooting all around. John Collins shooting well this year, high 30s, 38, 39% from 3. You know what I mean? So you got a lob threat in John Collins that can also stretch the 3. You got a lob threat who clean up boards. So if you switch anything, he got a mismatch on the offensive rebound in Clint Capella. Clint Capella is the element of why Julius Randle is ass. Julius Randle have played like ass. There's no other way to say it. There's no other way. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? It's his first time leading the team. he's not fairly. He's in that age where we can't say, oh, he's young, but
Yeah,
he
nah.
is still kind of young. He about 25. He got drafted in 2015. So
Mm-hmm.
he 24, 25. He getting to that age now where it's like now, okay, we understand the trajectory of your career with the Lakers. You had to find a home. Now you found it. This is the first year where y'all actually competitive. Last year was a bad year, whatever the case may be. But I think the Hawks have too many offensive options and a good enough defensive scheme with rim protection to run you off and make sure you don't keep up with us because the Hawks gonna out rebound them consistently with Collins and Capella, and then the threes, not only the threes, the pull up jump shots. They have too many offensive options in Atlanta, and the Knicks are struggling to find one.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose had a great game last game, but
Yeah.
I just think Derrick Rose and Julius Randle can't uphold the level of offense that Atlanta's pushing out. If I'm not mistaken, I think Atlanta was number offense this year, number 9. Let me check my note. But the Atlanta Hawks, bro, their offense is too potent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they got an 8th overall offense this year in the league with Trae Young averaging 25 and 9.5 assists. So he's 25 and 10 basically. Capella is 14 and 14 and 2 blocks. And you got shooting all around and a good coaching scheme.
Yeah, Julius Randle, man, he can't give you 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 assists. And Derrick Rose was the only person yesterday that had over 20 fouls on the Knicks. So the next matchup, how many games did you have the Celtics versus Knicks? I mean Celtics versus the Nets. I had a sweep. I'm not gonna lie, I had a sweep at first. Yeah, you had a sweep too?
Man, there's no other way to explain it. You know what I mean? It's as simple as Jason Tatum is a good young player. You know what I mean? But Boston was a 500 team with and without Jaylen Brown all year. They never went no more than 3 games over 500, and they definitely went 3 games under 500 at one point in time. You know what I mean? So they've been battling consistency all year. So even with Jaylen Brown, I don't think they stood a chance. They got a game last night.
Yeah, you had to get Jason Tatum put out 50 points, man, just so that you can win. And I mean, they was down big in the first quarter, right? If I'm not mistaken.
They were down 20 and initially to start the game or about 17, 18 points. And they back. And once they took the lead, Brooklyn, terrible defense. And this is why I don't think Brooklyn can beat the Lakers in the series. And this is why I think Brooklyn gonna lose to Milwaukee in that series. But that's later on.
Okay. Hey, he throwing out some facts. All right, so we already you already said the LA they still have a shot, but you like the Mavs. How many games did you have that game going in?
I picked the Mavs in 6.
Oh, okay. That's a great pick. LA versus the Suns. Now I had the Lakers in 5 before Chris Paul got hurt. You had the same thing? Yeah, I mean, it's just, we just know. I mean, I didn't expect the Suns to win that first game, man. I was kind of just waiting for LeBron, like, hey, bro, step up. Anthony Davis, I was waiting for him. Hey, man, come on, man. You playing around too much. But I mean, the way LeBron was clowning last game, I mean, this series is over, man. They don't stand a chance, man. Oh, okay. Since we also on the Suns, now I remember you and so many other people. I put a poll up on Instagram. Who was better, Devin Booker or Donovan Mitchell? You was on record saying, I'm taking Devin Booker, Josh. You look at the whole team, man. He's just a better overall. Baloney, man. I mean, you can go and look at Devin Booker's 3-point shooting, man. He is awful, bro. He cannot shoot the 3 at all. Mid-range, yes, yeah, we're talking. Last game he had 19 points. He kind of disappeared, fouled out. Got a what was it? A flagrant 1.
Yeah, jetted.
Come on, man. I mean, if you just look at all of the around, I'm going Donovan Mitchell, bro. And I told you before the series started. Devin Booker is getting exposed. All right. Yes, he's putting up what he put a game 2. I think he had 30 something. but he's getting exposed, man. He's getting exposed. I'm sorry. I'm taking Donovan Mitchell over Devin Booker.
Okay. Now, with this argument last year, this was about a year ago exactly. You was asking who was better, Donovan Mitchell or Devin Booker. I took Booker. And my reasoning behind taking Booker is because he's all around a more efficient player, and they play the same style. They play the same game. They have the same role, different teammates clearly, but it's even better now. Ooh, so much better now. That Chris Paul went to the Suns, and they are a competitive team now. Because within my case last year, we were saying, okay, the question marks of, Book playing on a bad team, getting double teamed every play, shooting every shot, leading the team in usage and not having nobody to be a threat, things of that nature. And we were saying, he averaged 26, but he could very well average 22 on a contending team, but that was a what if statement.
Yeah, that was.
Now we see that he can average 26, 25, 26 points on a playoff team. So now let me just give you some numbers.
Okay, I'm all ears.
In the last 4 years, okay, now keep in mind Donovan Mitchell is in his 4th year. So I took Donovan Mitchell's last 3 years. I didn't count his rookie year. Devin Booker is in year 6. I took his last 4 years. Okay. Devin Booker is 26 points, 5.5 assists, 4.3 rebounds. And over the course of the last 4 seasons, Devin Booker leads the league in double team percent at 12.3%.
I mean, but like you said, it's kind of jaded because he didn't have Chris Paul on this team.
Okay. Let me finish.
Oh, go ahead.
35% from 3, average. 47% from the field. Pretty good. 88.5% from the free throw.
Yeah, he's little.
35% from 3, 47% from the field, and 88.5% from the free throw, leading the league in double team percentage. He get double teamed the most, and he giving me 26 points, 5, 5.5, 35, 47, 88.5 shooting splits. This is Donovan Mitchell last 3 years since he's been the number. Guaranteed, he been the number one option every year of his career.
Hold on, wait. Let me say something about that double team percentage because when you have a guy that is scoring, a lot, and that's the only one on his team. Obviously, he's going to get double teamed more. You saw it with Stephen Curry this year. How many times was he double teamed? How many games was you saw the Clippers force the ball out of his hands. You saw him getting double teamed when he's crossing half court, when he's going for 30, when he's going for 40, when he's going for 50, 63 points. He was getting double teamed. So, when you're the only option, obviously that number is going to be significantly higher. But go ahead with Donovan Mitchell stats. Thank you.
Donovan Mitchell over the last 3 years is 24.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, shooting 37% from 3, 43.9% from the field, and 83% from the free throw, a little bit over 83% from the free throw. What that tells me is Devin Booker is a more accurate, less dependent three-point shooter than Donovan Mitchell off rip as an individual player. Donovan Mitchell is an undersized. I
didn't say nothing. I listened.
Devin Booker shoots 47% from the field and 88% from the free throw. 44%, I'll round up, 44% from the field, 83% from the free throw. Donovan Mitchell, his second year in the league, when he made his first leap into the scene where we started respecting him at a high level, he averaged 23, 4, and 4. He came back the next year and averaged 24, 4, and 4. This year he's averaging 26, 4, and 4. So what did that tell you about Donovan Mitchell? If you ask me, Donovan Mitchell, the type of game that he plays, it's a ceiling on that game. Same thing for Devin Booker to a degree, but what makes Devin Booker more versatile. Although he's less athletic, he have a more skill-based offensive arsenal than Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
Devin Booker is 6'5", 205. Donovan Mitchell is 6'3", and they might be giving them something because Mike Conley is 6 feet, and they're not too far apart.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. He's doing it, and he's smaller, bro. So I mean,
okay, but this is what makes Donovan a little less valuable to me than Devin Booker. Donovan, being undersized, playing the two without the ability to create for teammates, he don't have a good ability to create for teammates because when he get in the lane, he's too small to pass over the top, and he gets stuck in the air a lot, which leads to turnovers. One thing about Devin Booker, he proved that as a number one option, he can get 6 assists a game. 2 years in a row, he did that. Now, yes, he was the only offensive option. But when you think about the reason why Utah has lost in the playoffs the last 2 years, what has that reason been? Because they have a good defense, and Donovan is the only offensive option. They don't have – last year they had Mike Conley coming off injury, and he was playing like Kemba Walker playing right now.
Oh, man.
Okay.
And
he struggled all year. They had Royce O'Neal and this was before they traded for Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson was still in Cleveland. You know, they had Joe Ingles, Gobert, a couple of other guys I can't think off the top of my head. Derek Favors wasn't there at the time. He was still in New Orleans. But the team that had Donovan Mitchell was the number one option, just the same as Devin Booker. You know, playing on winning teams, the stats are going to be a little more suppressed because you have to play you have less room for error when you're playing on a winning team. So yes, the 24-4-4 statistically, when you check their PERs and everything advanced wise, the only thing that says Donovan Mitchell is better is the fact that he averaged 0.3 less turnovers than Devin Booker. But when you consider that Devin Booker averaged 1 total assist more, that's the separation of two. And now we see Devin Booker averaging 25 on a number 2 seed, 51 Phoenix Suns team. They won 51 games in a season that only had 72 games. So they would have 82 games. Who's to say they win 55, 56, 57, 58, 59 games? You know what I mean? That's a great team. Facts. I'm taking Devin Booker.
All right, so now let's talk about the Philadelphia Wizards, man. I had a clean, I had Philly in 5 games over the Wiz. I thought that the Wizards would be able to at least get 1 game. But right now, it ain't looking too hot, man. I think they might get swept, yo, to be real with you, man.
Yeah.
You got the same thing, Sweet?
If I'm not mistaken, I picked 5 because I just felt like, you know, the high end of Russell Westbrook and Bill, I thought they'd be able to get 1 game. You know what I mean? It might be 1 game Embiid or, you know, Simmons have a lot of games where he take under 10 shots at times, so he might not be as aggressive. Mm-hmm. You know, Tobias Harris, he's a scorer, so the guys that they kind of depended on the roles to come. They depended on every piece to come from a lot of different roles. You know what I mean? They need the scoring from Tobias because he's the perimeter scorer. They need Ben to push it in tempo and try to get field goals in the paint to create threes for the players that can create jump shots for themselves. They need Embiid to, you know, they need all of those. They need all of those elements to be. And I don't think they roster necessarily is synchronized to the point where all of them can be at their best at the same time to make the team better. You know what I mean? So I felt like, you know, maybe don't get me wrong. I do feel like they're a much better team than Washington by far because of the defense and Matisse Thybulle coming off the bench, just shooting at Seth Curry. So, you know, if you try to hunt him out in the pick and roll while he on defense, you know, you could just put Thybulle in, take Curry out, still have Ben running the ball, you know. Is obviously a hit on your offense,
yeah.
But your defense, but you have offense coming from other places. You know what I mean? So it's like you can put him in the guard elite players, but I just think Russell Westbrook and Bill can get 1 game, but
it's a wrap, man. What Russell Westbrook hurt his ankle too, man. I thought we would at least see an aberration. Man, I thought we at least saw, Bill go for 50 or something like that. Russell Westbrook giving you triple double or something, man. The Trailblazers versus Nuggets. Now I had the Trailblazers winning this series in how many games? In 6 games. Yeah, I had the Trailblazers over the Nuggets in 6 games. Yeah, I just felt like the Nuggets missing Jamal Murray, it was going to be a huge stain on them. I thought Dame Lillard would come with. Go ahead.
Keep going, bro.
Oh, nah. I mean, I'm just saying, man. I thought Dame time he was going to turn up the watch a little bit. I thought CJ McCollum was going to come and play, and I still got them in 6 games, even though they're down 2-1. Shoot, they can win the next 3 out of the next 5, man. That's very, very possible, man. So. Yeah. Go ahead now. Oh, and who'd you have?
I picked Denver in 6, and it's simple as this: Portland can't stop a trash can or a tree stump.
You said Portland can't stop a what?
A trash can or a tree stump. The most stagnant things, bruh. Portland defense, man. Denver don't have the best defense. Don't get me wrong. But at least Denver have length. Portland is small, and they don't have great defenders, man. Bottom line, man, you got Dame, CJ, Robert Covington is a pretty good defender. Yusuf Nurkic, Enes Kanter, terrible defender. Anthony Simons, small guard off the bench. Norman Powell, a 6'4" shooting guard, small forward.
He can give you some defense every now and then. Some defense.
He's a good defender. He's a good defender if he playing the 2. But when you got Dame and CJ in the game, he's playing the 3, so that make him a liability. You know what I mean? And that's what Portland struggles. Carmelo playing the power forward position alongside Robert Covington at the small forward with Dame and CJ in the game. That's in your top 4, your tallest guy 6'8".
But man,
your next guy 6'6".
Just listen to the lineup you just said. Dame, Robert Covington, CJ McCollum, Carmelo Anthony, Yusuf Nurkic, Enes Kanter. These guys can score the rock, man. So I mean, it's like they should already be up at least 2-1. It shouldn't be 2-1 Denver. It should be 2-1 Portland, bro.
Not when you're dealing with a team that just as offensively potent as you. See, Portland they are the bottom team in the league in assists per game. What does that tell you? They get a lot of hard buckets. They get a lot of isolation shots.
One-on-one.
They get a lot. Now, do they have the ability to make those shots? Yes. But when you're trying to win games and when the game slows down and you're playing a possession by possession style and you don't have a person who can optimize the offense like a Ben Simmons, like a Draymond Green, like a LeBron James, like a Chris Paul, like a even Julius Randle showed at times. Boston used Marcus Smart for this role, because Kemba Walker looks to score.
That's a good point.
You know the role that I'm talking about. You know what I mean? You need that guy. Excuse me. And Portland simply just don't have that. And it's the same situation with Luka playing against the Clippers. Like I said about Philly is looking for Ben Simmons to be the 3rd scorer, but handle the ball. That's the same thing as the Clippers, where you have Luka, who is as potent passing the ball as he is scoring. You got Big Yoke. So although, it's not Carmelo Anthony's and it's not CJ McCollum's and Enes Kanter, who's a veteran, Dame, who's a MVP candidate, and all those guys, Capazzo, Austin Rivers, Michael Porter Jr., JaMychal Green, Aaron Gordon, JaVale McGee. All of these guys are a better version of themselves. Yeah, Denver got a squad, bro.
And then just imagine if they had, Jamal Murray and everything, man. You just named some guys. That I mean,
let me finish. I'm glad Jamal Murray got hurt I'm glad Jamal Murray got hurt because let me not say it like that. That sounds terrible.
Yeah,
I think it's a blessing in disguise. I think it's a blessing in disguise for the team that Jamal Murray got hurt because of the simple fact that Michael Porter Jr. is better than him, bro. He can help the team more, but Denver is a stable organization, which you can't be mad at all. You know, they definitely serve the first in, last out mentality in terms of their personnel. They keep the players they draft for the most part. You know, they make every player come up the pipeline. And what I mean by that is no matter where you were drafted, no matter how much we value you, we're gonna teach you how to be a rotation player. If you have the talent that allows you to go into the next stage, then we'll allow you to be a six man. Then we'll allow you to be a starter, and then we'll allow you to be a player that can go out there and just play your game. And Michael Porter, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, even Torrey Craig last year, Monty Morris, all of these guys were bought through the pipeline of Michael Malone's system, and he's diligent and thorough in his process of making sure every player knows exactly what to do when they get on the court for his team. And Michael Porter Jr. have the talent that of a top 3 pick, in my opinion. He was the number 1 player coming out of high school before he went to Missouri. He hurt his back. He only played 5 games in college.
Yep.
He had the back, he had the back surgery. So a lot of teams passed on him. Denver picked him up at 13, right at the bottom of the lottery. You know what I mean? And that was a steal. And then when you consider he had a back injury, and the Nuggets don't bring players in to play their first year. When you get there, Bowl, and RJ Hampton, who was a player who went to Australia, who was a top 5-star recruit, who went to Australia the same year LaMelo Ball did, and he got drafted in the bottom of the first round last year. RJ Hampton, he got traded to Orlando in the deal to get Aaron Gordon. However, he wasn't playing much. You know what I mean? He was getting bought up the pipeline. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying he got traded because of personal reasons, but he might have been uncomfortable with being a potential lottery pick at one time. AAU. When you get in the game, you balling. Nah, they slow you down and they mature you through. They mature your mind first. You know what I mean? And with Michael Porter coming out, his first 25 games without Jamal Murray, he averaged 26 points, shooting 47% from 3 and 54% from the field. Now, why is that important? Jamal Murray is that of a Chris Middleton, that of a Donovan Mitchell, that of a Devin Booker, he don't have the gift of passing the ball from the guard position that you need to be effective when you dominate the ball to score at the level he wants to score. He want to average 23 to 26 points a game. You know what I mean?
He do.
But when you double him, he hurts your offense because he can't make every pass that you might need for that number 1 option type of player. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, Michael Porter is a 6'11" more efficient version of that. So although he might have defensive lapses, Jamal Murray not a stout defender. So who would you rather have as your number 2 option getting paid the second most amount of money on your roster? Because Nikola Jokic is clearly the number 1 guy who can score, pass, rebound, and disrupt on defense. He might not be the best one-on-one post defender or perimeter defender because of his lack of athleticism in our eyes. But Nikola Jokic is one of the smartest players in the league. And he understands angles, space, and time. You know what I mean?
Just how the guys are, man.
I think Michael Porter Jr. is a better second option for the Denver Nuggets than Jamal Murray. And this playoff and the end of the regular season and going into this playoff, he got a chance to do what he haven't done for Denver yet, and that's play more, shoot more, and actually be an imprint and a reason why they win something. So I felt like Denver was gonna win because Portland's terrible at the wing position. Mike Porter 6'11", Aaron Gordon is 6'9" and athletic. And you got Yoke, who's a load. Nobody can hold him in the paint. Bottom line, no matter who you got on your team, whether it's Gobert from the best big man to the bottom big man, nobody can hold him. You got to double him. So these guys getting open shots every play. You seen Austin Rivers go off in the fourth quarter the other night.
Facts.
Denver in 6. Denver in 6.
All right, so now the matchup that I was fairly wrong with, and I'll take an L on this one, man. I'm talking about the Heat versus the Bucks, man. Now, last year, we definitely know what was going on. All right, we knew that Giannis was a phony. He's a fraud still. They definitely had better. They had a better team. The Heat had a better team last year. You know, they had Jay Crowder. They had I can't think of the other guys they had, man. But right now, it's a wrap, man. They down 3-0 against the Bucks. They getting swept. I had the Heat in 6. What did you have this series in, man? I had the Heat in 6, man.
I was a little too nice. I gave the Heat 1 game.
Dang.
I should have went with I should have grabbed myself and did what I did it with my chest and went for the sweep. I should have, because I knew that Miami had no chance. I knew they had 0 chance. I just gave them the benefit of the doubt of winning the game at home, just off pride, effort, and you know what I mean, just the defense. You know what I mean. But Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, man, these dudes are playing like all-stars.
Nah, they playing lights out.
These dudes are playing like all-stars. And when you contribute the fact that Brook Lopez and Britton Forbes and Bobby Portis and PJ Tucker, bro, they have a lineup that they play. Bro, listen to this lineup, bro. This before DiVincenzo got hurt. I don't think DiVincenzo really going to hurt him not having DiVincenzo. I think they're just going to plug in Pat Connaughton and be just fine.
Okay. But I like DiVincenzo.
I do too because he played in Villanova. He got 2 national championships, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Or he got 1.
I think it was
he got 1 or 2. He played in big moments. You know what I mean? He went to college. I like players that go to college for more than 1 year. Malcolm Brogdon, Malcolm Brunson for Dallas, even DiVincenzo that we're talking about. These dudes do more than 1 year. Oh, Joe Harris for Brooklyn. These dudes, they come in ready. You know what I mean? Their first year, they can play. Exactly. And that's what you want from your draft pick. I don't understand why these front office guys and scouts and all, they go for the 19-year-old. Okay, let's say you got a top 5 pick. I respect it. You go and get Zion. You go and get LaMelo. Exactly. But if you have a number 18 draft pick, why would you go and get some 19-year-old that averaged 13 points at Ohio State? You know what I mean? Where you can go get a junior that's 21 years old, you know what I mean? Average 10 point, 9 points his first year, 12 points his second year, 18 points his third year at West Virginia. You know what I mean? And you can go and get that guy, and for your team, if you got the number 18 pick, you're not drafting him to be a starter. You're drafting him to groom him to be a player that you can put into your rotation. Kyle Kuzma. Nobody knew Kyle Kuzma was going to come on the scene and average 18 like he did this first year.
Not at all.
We thought Lonzo was supposed to be that guy. You know, we was expecting that. You know what I mean? But certain guys, you know, I'm trying to think of something right off the top of my head. You know, they come in the middle of the draft. You know what I mean? You want them dudes to fill in a role, especially when you're a competitive team. But
let me hear that lineup.
But when I went with the Bucks. When I went with the Bucks, bro, they came out with Drew Holiday, DiVincenzo, Chris Middleton, PJ Tucker, and Giannis. Defensively, you can't do nothing with that lineup, bro. If they run that lineup, bro, in any time in the third quarter, it's lights out because they're getting stops every play. When they run it, and then the best thing about it, bro. Like I told you, Giannis is not a wing. Giannis is a power forward who's closer to a center than he is to a small forward. You know what I mean? Giannis and Giannis now he's not playing point guard. He's playing his position, bro. And that's what unlocks the team. Drew Holiday had 15 assists one game. He had 11 assists the very next game. In the playoffs. Do you know what that means? He's getting Giannis easy shots. That's all it is. It's just him dumping down the Giannis dunks, dumping down. And when Giannis get in the paint, if he do all the work before he get the ball, it's nothing you can do.
Nah, it's nothing you can do. He right there, man. One thing he gotta do is just this. Just dunk on you, bro.
And then in the transition, when Giannis get the board, he can push the transition. See, he could be Ben Simmons in open court, and he could be Shaq in the half court.
And that's good. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really, in transition, bro, I think, man, he might be a top 5 transition player ever. Like, it just in transition alone, man. I mean, on a fast break, Giannis coming down the lane, you're not gonna stop him. I'm thinking of, LeBron as a freight train, Russell Westbrook in transition. I mean, Giannis is up there, man. I can't think of anybody else right now. And you was right. Hey, I will give you your credit. You was right on this series, man. I had the Heat in 6. They're getting swept. It's a wrap. But let's talk about the Jazz versus the Grizz. I had the Jazz sweeping the Grizz, man. Now, the Grizz, they're
Grizz in 5. I actually picked Utah in 5.
Okay.
I actually said the Grizzlies were gonna get one.
Yeah. I didn't think the Grizzlies was gonna get one, man. And then what? How much John Morant go for?
Game 1.
How much John Morant just go for?
30.
You said how much?
I think he had 30 in every game. I think his last game he had 38.
Nah, he had like 46, bro. I think.
Oh yeah, he had 38 the game before that, bro. Yeah. He definitely dropped 40. Yeah, he definitely dropped 40. Bro.
He had 46, and I mean, they was floaters. He had a couple jump shots, free throws.
And they lost the game. Donovan Mitchell back, man. And what Donovan Mitchell does is he give you that when you swing it around the perimeter and you can't get that 3 that you want, you can give it to him and he can put it on the floor. He give you another player that can put the ball on the floor. See, Utah, they offense is so efficient, bro. And then I'm not gonna say they have a great defensive team, but they have a great defensive scheme.
And they got that centerpiece, Rudy Gobert,
bro.
man.
They can chase, bro. They go over every screen. They chase everybody off the 3 because they got that man behind them. And they want you to shoot mid-range long twos. They want you to shoot a bunch of long twos, and they want you to try to go bare at the rim. And they going to shoot you out the gym because they have Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Joe Ingles, Bogdanovich, Royce O'Neal, Ilya Sova,
Jordan Clarkson.
Bro, they have shooters, bro.
They got some
all
depth,
these
man.
niggas is cashing.
Yeah, they got some depth, man. So now me and you were both expecting a Laker versus the Nets finals. What is the deciding factor for the Lakers to repeat? And the Nets. Now, I said on my last episode that it's going to be hard for any team in the East to beat the Nets 4 times. So my first question is, who is the deciding factor for the Lakers to repeat? And the second question is, do you see a bump in the road for the Nets in the East?
The deciding factor for the Lakers is LeBron James.
That's it? Just LeBron James is the deciding factor.
He's the deciding factor. When you look at the series average right now, Schroeder averaging 19, 4 and 4. You know what I mean? Drummond averaging 10 points, if I'm not mistaken, 10 points, 11 rebounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? AD averaging a monster, 27 points per game, 9 rebounds. You know what I mean? 4 assists, 2 blocks. LeBron leading the team in steals, 2 steals. But right now, LeBron depending on a lot of jump shots. And he's not trusting that ankle. See, people looking at the dunks. Oh, he dunking, he back. What people don't realize, LeBron a left foot jumper. So that's not his hurt ankle. You know what I mean? He's jumping, dunking, and landing on his dominant foot. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when he come off the baseline and he jump off and he do his little tomahawk and he come down, he's
It's left foot.
landing,
Yep.
well, he good. He
Mm-hmm.
good. You know what I mean? So what that does is now when you start depending on the other side because you don't trust one side, now you're looking at lower extremity. You don't want to play with that.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Especially the older you get, you don't heal faster, bro. That's his problem. Like
Yeah.
people think LeBron didn't get hurt when he was younger. Bro, every basketball player that plays at that level, bro, gets some type of nick, bruise, touch, something,
Any sport.
pull,
Any sport at that
strain,
level, bro. Any sport at that
strain.
level.
Come on, bro. You're not telling me LeBron went 7, 8, 9 years without a strain,
Without a
pull,
strain. Come on,
tight.
man.
Come on, bro. Like,
Yeah.
but it's the ability to rejuvenate.
Yeah.
That's the difference, bro. That's the difference. Like he can do his treatment and all that at 24 and 3 days, he good. That 3 days now, 2 weeks. 36 years old, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with the Lakers, bro, to be real, I mean, if we just gonna assume though LeBron gonna be LeBron 25, 8 and 8, 50% from the field, 35% from three, 71% from the free throws, whatever the case may be. We just gonna assume AD gonna be 27 and 9, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 49% from the field, 35% from three, 85% from the free throw. We assume that the deciding factor for the Lakers, bro, is Schroeder and Drummond.
Okay.
Those two dudes, people think, I remember last year the story was Kyle Kuzma got to be the third wheel. Kyle Kuzma this.
Hey, I was saying
that. And all along, I was saying Kyle Kuzma just learning how to be a rotation player. But he's a good rotation player because he's giving you double figures, and we need to be thankful for that. And with Kyle Kuzma, he's going to be a rotation player. Like I said, Schroeder and Drummond got to average 30 points between the two of them, 15 rebounds between the two of them, and at least 6 or 7 assists between the two of them. Drummond got to block a shot a game. Try to get 2 a game. But one thing about Drummond, although he averages just a block, he give you 1.2 steals. So although Drummond don't block as many shots as the Dwight Howard, you know what I mean? He gives you he forced turnovers, you know what I mean, at the hands. So if Drummond giving you 12 and 14 or 12 and 12, because LeBron gonna eat up some of them rebounds, AD gonna eat up some of them rebounds, and then the team in general gonna get a couple spread through. So Drummond getting you 10 points, 11 to 12 rebounds, Schroeder giving you 16 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, a steal or 2, it's going to be hard to beat the Lakers, bro. It's going to be real hard. And I don't see Brooklyn coming out the East, bro. They're going to lose to Milwaukee, bro.
Oh, so that's the bump in the road. Why that? Now, I mean, we all know the Nets struggle defensively. But I mean, they still got 3 offensive superstars, man. 3 of some of the greatest scorers that we've ever seen that can score literally from all platforms on the court. Paint, mid-range, 3-point, free throw. They all great at it, bro.
And they do, and I'll say this about the Nets, bro. Great talent. Great talent. We already know James Harden going to average a double-double in the series. We know Kyrie going to average over 25. KD going to average 30.
Yeah.
But they can't stop anybody.
Yeah.
And Milwaukee led the league in scoring this year. Now you could say Brooklyn only played 8 games together, 7 games together, whatever. The bottom line is, even if Brooklyn would have been number 1 in scoring, Milwaukee would have been number 2.
I can see that.
Milwaukee, bro, and Milwaukee as a team, in terms of pure dominance, is way more impactful offensively and defensively than the Brooklyn Nets. Right now, bro, the Milwaukee have the 6th overall offense, number 1 in points per game, pushing the second pace in the league, the second highest pace in the league, with the 10th defense in the league. Now, last year, Milwaukee was top 5 in offense and top 5 in defense, and we seen what happened to them in the playoffs. So this year, they went with a new scheme. So although the ratings aren't as the same, they're more playoff sound, bro. They're more set for playoff basketball because now you got Drew Holiday, who's a 3-level scorer off the dribble, off the catch, create for others, rebound, and defend. You don't have to double team the point guard position with Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have Giannis. Now, who's going to stop Giannis? They starting Blake at the 5.
You can't.
Jordan have to come off the bench, bro. DeAndre Jordan have to start this series. Not to mention Brook Lopez on defense, 7-footer, cutting off everything at the rim.
And then
defensively.
Then he could come out there and hit some threes in your face, bro.
Bro. And I'm not even worried about his 3. I'm not really worried about like Brook Lopez threes or nothing like that. What I'm worried about is Chris Middleton gonna give me 20 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds, bro. That's the key, bro. That is the key. If Chris Middleton averages 20, bro, they will win the series, bro. You got, bro, too many defenders, bro. They're gonna get stops. They're gonna get stops. They're gonna get stops. And when they get in the half court and they got a layup line, bro, what are you gonna do with Giannis? He shoots 57% from the field. What are you gonna do with him? What are they gonna do with Giannis, bro? Now you can say, you can ask me, what are they gonna do with KD and what are they gonna do with Harden and this and that and the third? Okay. Over the course of 48 minutes, they're gonna be able to sustain a higher level of offense and defense combined than the Brooklyn Nets. And that's just my personal opinion. Brooklyn gonna have home court advantage. They're gonna get one of the first 2. They're gonna win both games at home. Brooklyn gonna win game 5, and Milwaukee gonna finish them in 6, bro.
Dang! The Milwaukee Bucks over the Brooklyn Nets in 6 games. Did they play the next round?
Yes. Bro, Milwaukee is gonna win. They're gonna split the first 2. Milwaukee gonna win both games at home. Brooklyn gonna win game 5, and it's gonna be over in Milwaukee, bro. What?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait for people to hear this. Boy, I can't wait for people to hear this, man. Well, I mean,
and I got the Lakers winning the championship, bro, because I think Milwaukee gonna win the East this year, bro. I want to say Philly. I haven't made my pick officially for the conference finals. I haven't even made my second round pick, but I already know where it's kind of leading to in the East. I'm not sure who's gonna win the 4 or 5, so I don't know if Philly gonna get the Knicks or the Hawks. I kind of want Philly to get the Hawks just because they actually a threat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't made my picks for the second round, so I haven't even made my picks for the conference finals. So I just got to see who look like what when that time comes for whoever get there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I like to see Milwaukee and the Lakers in the finals, and if not that, I like to, if I can just make a mystery, I like to see Dallas Bucks. If Luka gonna play this way. Can you imagine if Luka knock off? Can you imagine next round if Luka beat the Jazz, which we wouldn't really give them too many cookies for that. It'll be the Jazz. They'll be like, wow, what a great win,
yeah,
underdog, whatever. But we wouldn't really, really bow down unless he beat the King, bro. If he can you imagine if they beat Utah next series? Well, if they finish off the Clippers, beat Utah next series, and take down LeBron, bro. That's on the way. That's on the way to GOAT status right there.
Yeah, nah.
You know what I mean?
If he does that, man, I think you got to go ahead. I mean, you already said, bro. If he beats the Clippers this round, he's top 5 players. If he beats LeBron and he makes it to the finals, bro, yeah, he definitely up there, man.
He'll be starting his first step to being the number 1 player in the league. When LeBron retired, I think Luka the next guy, bro, because of where his age is. See, I think Giannis at 26 right now. I think LeBron gonna play another 4 seasons at least. So Giannis would be 30. So it'd be hard for them to start the Cinderella story at 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Luka would be 25.
Cool. All right, man. You got any closing remarks, man?
No, man, I'm just chilling out, ready to catch these games now, man. I hope LeBron get number 5 this year. Who knows what'll happen? But I do not want Brooklyn to win, bro. Not this way.
I know.
If they win next, because they all under contract next year, so hopefully all them dudes come back for sure. And if they steamroll the league, you know, had the best record in the league, and they win the championship, I wouldn't be mad at it. You know what I mean? Because they played together for the whole season. You know, they didn't cheat code it. I mean, they already together, but you know what I'm trying to say? I don't want them to win this championship because I don't want them to validate, oh, we only played 5 games together and we told y'all we were gonna win the championship just because we all partnered up. It's too much firepower, you know what I mean? But yeah, I got one question for you. So who winning the championship?
Oh, I mean, I'm going LA, man. I'm a LeBron James guy, man. I don't see a situation. I don't see anybody in the West beating them, bro. The East, you know, if the Nets come out, it's going to be very, very challenging. If it's Milwaukee coming out, I like the Lakers in 5, and LeBron gets his 5th. So,
you don't think there'd be no type of challenge at all?
In 5, bro. In 5, man. Yeah, bro. All right, man. So I mean, no, I was about to say, hey, man. So I mean that concludes season 2, episode 14 of Joshua's Proximity. Hey, Kendall, I look forward to having you on some more, bro. Hey, man. First round of playoffs. Here we go.
Hey, just hit me up, man, when the finals come around.
I bet. I got you.
Great.